Thank you so much for joining this lesson. We're going to handle a grade 9 examination. This is the Timer National Series, grade 9 mathematics. So let us look at these mathematical items one by one, from number 1 all the way to the last question. Look at past 1. The question says, a sugar factory produced 8,088,096 packets of sugar in a certain month. What is the number of packets produced in samples, or rather in numbers? So we are converting the statement into numbers. That is 8,088,000. So we should talk about 8 million. That means 8 million. Let me just write it here. 8 million. Then after 8 million on the thousands side, we are having a 88,000. So 88,000. 96 packets and 96 packets and 96 packets. So this is a 6908808. So now, because it's a multiple choice question, we're going to look at where this figure has been placed. And this is part B. Yeah, part B. Exactly part B. So now we have the right choice. You put a tick on the right choice. Let's check number 2. The government of Kenya disbursed. There is another figure here. 198,423,715 in payment of hospital bills under the program of SHA. What is the place value of digit 9 in the number? Place value of digit 9. So when you look at this figure, which is a, let me write it on the working space. I think it's good for us to have it in the working space. So we are talking of a 198,423,715. Yes, 715 that way. Then now we know that this is on ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. This is tens of thousands. This is hundreds of thousands. This is millions. So this place is the place value of millions. Then this is tens of millions. So that we go hundreds of millions. So 9 is at tens of millions, meaning that option C is the most appropriate answer, tens of millions. Okay. Let's look at number 3. A teacher wrote the following numbers on the chalkboard. Which of the numbers above is a non-integer? Integers are both positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. So what we shall eliminate is any decimal which is appearing. And actually, just for your information, this one is an answer. And according to this, which is also a decimal, I think their argument is that a negative 6.0 is the same as negative 6, though they should know that according to errors and approximations, negative 6 is not the same as negative 6.0. When you include a 0.0, that is an accuracy of 0.1, which really represents something. So depending on the learning area that we are dealing with, 0 can have some value according to how it has been used. Therefore, there is some conflict there. A student choosing part C, according to me, I would allocate the mark because it's a decimal. It has already been written as a decimal. So we can't say it is not a decimal. Okay, number 4. A mobile phone had 5% of power remaining. After charging for some hours, its power increased by 75. What was the final percentage charge in the phone? It was already at 5 and it's increasing by 75. So it became 80%. Option D is the most appropriate. We are now looking at number 5. A substance was heated at a rate of 21 degrees Celsius per hour for a period of 8 hours. What was the temperature of the substance after 8 hours? What was the temperature of the substance after 8 hours? Okay, or within 8 hours, what was the raise? For every 1 hour, we are having 21 degrees Celsius increase. That means we need 21 for 8 hours so that we get 168. That becomes our answer now. Number 6. Hamisi takes 3 deposits. Hamisi makes 3 deposits and 5 withdrawals in a bank every month. If each deposit is 25,000 Kenya shillings and every withdrawal is 10,000 Kenya shillings, how much will be in his account at the end of the month? At the end of the month. So he makes 3 deposits and this gentleman is depositing 25,000. Then we can now treat the deposited amount as positive such that we have 25,000 by 3 and this is a 75,000. Then the withdrawals now are 5 of them and each withdrawal is 10,000. So he's going to withdraw 50,000. Yeah. So we subtract 75,000, which are the deposits, and 50,000, which are the total deposits made. Total withdrawals, that is. So the guy is going to have at the end of the month 25,000 remaining in the bank. 25,000 remaining in the bank because he has deposited a total of 75 but withdrew a total of 50,000. Number 7, a carpenter made a cubicle storage box of length 1.853 meters on one side. What is the volume of the cube in cubic meters? Use a mathematical table. So we are going to cube 1.853 using the tables. 1.5, 1.853. 1.853. So 1.8 is here. So this is the row that we shall use. 1.8. We go to 5, 3. So 5 is here. Then 3. And this is what we are having. And 3, 1. Therefore, we will take 6.332 and we add 3, 1 that way. So here we shall have 3, 6, 3, 6. So 6.363. 6.363. So the answer is part D. I think we're supposed to make the choices very well. You just be very keen in your workings and also in the selection of the best. In number 8, we are taught in indices and logarithms express 216 in simplest index form. Simplest index form. So we can check the value of 6 power 3. This is 216. So this is now the appropriate answer according to this question, because 4 power 3 is equivalent to 64. 5 power 3 is equivalent to 125. 3 power 3, 27. Therefore, the most appropriate answer is 6 power 3, though the simplest index form is supposed to be, let me check, when we make it, is it possible to raise it to base 2? Let me check 216, whether can be expressed to base 2. Let's check whether it is possible to have a simpler base. Can check whether it's possible to have a simpler base for 216. Okay, it's not possible to have it as base 2. Therefore, 6 power 3 becomes the least possible base. And now A becomes the most appropriate option. But our number 9 is still from the same topic. Simplify 8 power 5 divided by 8 power 8. That is 8 power 8. Then give the answer with a positive index. Give the answer with a positive index. Let's begin by applying the law of indices. That says in case we have a common base, then you divide. You're just supposed to take the base and you subtract the powers. So that is what we will initially apply. Base 8, then 5 minus 8. This shall be 8 power negative 3. That is the first step that you're supposed to take. But now the examiner moves ahead to tell us we leave this one with a positive index. We change the positive index or the negative index to positive using the fractional, the negative law of indices that says when you have a number raised to a negative power, we solve this by taking the reciprocal, then the power becomes positive. Applying this to 8 power negative 3, then it shall become 1 out of 8, and the power becomes 3, meaning option C becomes the most appropriate. Yeah, option C will be the most appropriate answer for us. And we have already done it. So that is it. Let's look at number 10. The difference, Andrew, John, and Peter formed a partnership in which they contributed the capital to start a business. Andrew contributed 300,000. John contributed 180,000, and then Peter contributed the rest. If the ratio of the contribution for Andrew, John, and Peter was 5:3:2, 5:3:2, what was Peter's contribution? What was Peter's contribution? So here now, we shall use proportions. Andrew contributed 5 proportions. John contributed 3 proportions. And then Peter contributed 2 proportions. So what value are we given? That of Andrew and that of Andrew and that of John. So 300,000 is equal to Andrew, which is 5 proportions. What about Peter's proportions, which are just 2? What about the 2 proportions of Peter? Let me work out here. 5 proportions of Andrew, 300,000. What about the 2 proportions of Peter? What about the 2 proportions of Peter? So 2 shall be 2 times 300,000 out of 5. And this is going to be 2 multiplied by 300,000 out of 5. This gives us 120,000. 120,000, making B the most appropriate. All right. The ratio of boys to girls in school A was 11:13, while the ratio of boys to girls in school B was 13:15. Which of the two ratios are smaller? Okay, which of the ratios is smaller, in other words? I think that is what they wanted to mean. Which of the ratios is smaller? 11:13. So we can make the ratios fractions, then we convert them to percentages. So the first ratio, 11:13, becomes 84.6. Then the other ratio, which is 13:15, we make it a fraction and also a percentage. We get 86.67. So which is smaller? The smaller ratio is the first one, 11:13. So option C becomes the most appropriate. Number 12. Kyoko and Musau bought shirts, trousers, and socks at the end of the year. The number of shirts, trousers, and socks bought by each was represented by the matrix below. So this matrix, maybe this is for Kyoko. Then the second row is for Musau. Then along the columns now, we can talk about shirts, trousers, and socks. Therefore, what was the order of the matrix? For us to identify the order of the matrix, we begin with the number of rows. So we are having 2 rows, 1, 2. Then we write 2 multiplied by the number of columns, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 columns. So the order of the matrix now will be read as 2 by 3. 2 by 3. Option D, the most appropriate in this case. Number 13. The length of a door is 1 and 5 out of 8 meters. What is the length of the door expressed as a decimal point? So as a decimal, we can actually convert this into a mixed number first. 8 multiplied by 1, we get 8, plus 5, we get 13. 13 over 8. So now we will be dividing 13 out of 8. When I take 13 over 8, this is giving me 1.625. It was a length in meters. So I check the options and B becomes the most appropriate. Yeah, B becomes the most appropriate. Number 14. A square table is an area of 26.18 meters squared. Determine the length of one side of the table, and we are advised to use the mathematical table. So if the area of the square has been provided, the square table, then we are supposed to get the square root for us to know the length. Because when we take side squared, we usually get area, which means given area, for us to get side, then we need the square root of area. So side equals to the square root of area, square root of 26.18. So we are finding the square root of 26.18. Square root of 26.18. 26.18. So let's get to that. 26.18. So 26 is here. We are already on the circles, the tables of square roots. So 26 is here. 0.18. 26.1. 26.1 here. Then 8. Check the column that has 8. It is here. So having 78 at that point. So I'll be taking, we start with 5.1088. 5.1088. So this is 5.1088. 88. Then we add 78 at this point. We add 78 here. So this shall be 6. We carry 1. 6 again, we carry 1, then 5. These are meters. So 5.1166. 5.1166 from the math table. We have already worked out. Most appropriate answer, part C. Looking at part 15 now, we are told that a teacher wrote the algebraic expression below: a squared plus 4a plus ab plus 4b. Factorize the expression. So for us to factorize this expression, from the first two terms, we need to talk about the common term. So from the first two, a is common. So we factor out a, then we remain with a plus 4. Then in the next bracket, or in the next pair of terms, we can see b is common. So we shall factor out positive b, and we remain with a plus again 4. A plus 4. Therefore, from the brackets, we are having a plus 4. Outside the brackets, a plus b. So now with this, we can observe all the choices, and you will agree with me that option A is the most appropriate. Number 16. Length of a back wiper of a car is 42 centimeters long. The wiper swipes at an angle of 60. What is the area the wiper sweeps? What is the area the wiper swipes? Okay. The wiper is having a length of 42. Then the angle at the angle through which it sweeps is 60. So this is what we are talking about. A wiper here, it's going to sweep through an angle of 60 until it is somewhere here. So what is this area? What is the area here? It has a length of 42. So this is the area of a sector of a circle, such that area of a sector is given by the angle at the center, which is theta over 360 pi r squared. So we are talking of 60 over 360 pi. We've not been given pi, so allow me to choose 22 over 7 r squared. Yeah, r squared. So from all these now, we work out and realize that the most appropriate answer is 924. 924 square centimeters. 924 square centimeters. So option D becomes the most appropriate. At number 17 now, Mr. Monkey borrowed 750,000 Kenya shillings from a lending institution. After 3 years, he paid back a total of 1020,000, or rather 1,020,000 Kenya shillings. Calculate the rate of simple interest charged by the institution per year. So we are having the total amount paid. That means for simple interest, we can get the interest. So the value of simple interest shall be, we take the total paid back and we subtract the amount he borrowed. 750,000. So 1020,000 minus 750,000. So this is 270,000. This is the interest earned. We usually say that the value of simple interest is given by principal times rate times the time taken. Therefore, the simple interest is 270,000. This is equal to the money which had been borrowed, 750,000, times the rate. Do we know the rate? Not really. R is unknown, but it's a percentage, times time taken after 3 years, times 3. So now we can get R by taking 270,000, then we divide by 7520 times 3. This is going to be 12%. So now the right option here is only B. That is the right option. Number 18 from geometry now. Construct triangle XYZ in which XY equals to 5 centimeters, YZ equals to 4 centimeters, and XZ equals to 6.5 centimeters. Draw a circle that touches the vertices of the triangle. Measure its radius. So now let's do the construction first, but because of convenience on my screen, I'm just going to demonstrate what you exactly need. So we first need XY 5 centimeters, then YZ 4. So XY 5 centimeters, let me draw that. X 5 centimeters. So this is 5 centimeters. Then we also talk about another length here from Y to Z, 4 centimeters. From Y to Z, I use a length of 4 centimeters to just make an arc. Then a length of 6.5 for XZ. So from again X to Z, 6.5. So standing at X, 6.5. So where the two arcs are meeting, that's our Z. So now we can join Z. Can join Z to 3. And we also join Z to 1. That way. So this is 6.5 centimeters. And this is 4 centimeters. Now we are having the triangle. After getting the triangle, what next are we doing? We draw a circle that touches the vertices, the 3 vertices. So this means now we bisect what we call the lines. So we can bisect any 2 lines. We bisect line XY. So standing at X, we make an arc and another arc. Then standing at Y, we cut those arcs. And now the intersection of these particular arcs now is going to be, okay, we just draw a line showing that we have now bisected that line. Let's also bisect any other line like YZ. So we start at Y, we make an arc, and we also make an arc here. Then standing at Z, we cut those arcs. Then we join. We will have bisected. So now you see, I have bisected both 2 lines. I can also bisect the 3rd line, and the point of intersection shall be confirmed to be exactly the same. Therefore, now where the points are intersecting, this point now, I make it my center. So I stand at this point and I use the radius OX, which is confirmed to be the same as OZ and also OY. Then I make a very good circle that will touch the vertices. So now drawing of the circle now might be a challenge, but at least you've known what should happen. So you do a circle using the center O at this point. Then in our case, when you measure this radius, you will discover that it is 3.4. Yeah, 3.4. That 3.4. Number 19. The ratio of boys to girls in county junior school is 5:3. If the school has 600 learners, how many boys are there? It's on ratios. So the ratio of girls to boys, which means girls is 5 proportions, boys is 3 proportions. So 3 out of the total 8 proportions multiplied by the total learners for us to know the number of boys, because boys are taking 3 proportions according to the ratio. Then we shall have 3 out of 8 multiplied by 600. This is 225. So option A, that is the number of boys in county JS. Yeah, that is it. Now checking at number 20. The question says that 16 men can take 24 days to construct a certain length of rod. How many more days? Mark that word. How many more days will it take 12 men to complete the same piece of work? So we have men, and we're also having the days that they take. So 16 men are taking 24 days. Now we need other men working at the same rate. How many more days will it take? 12 men, okay. So 12 men will work for some days. So let's check how many days for the same work will 12 men work. So we talk about 24 days, and now we are varying these days using the number of men. 16 men require 24. 12 men shall require more. So it will need 16 over 12. So 24 by 16 out of 12. This gives us 32. These ones will require 32 days. If they require 32 days, now the 16 were requiring 24. So if they are 12, they will not require 24. They will require some more days. So how many more days means 32 minus initially the 24 days which were required. This is giving us 32 minus 24, which is just 8. So 8 days. Yeah, 8 days. Now we go to section 2 of this paper. The section 2. We are through with the multiple choices. In section 2 now, your work should be seen. Your work should be decent. You should organize everything very well for you to earn a score. Marks are not just awarded to the answers. We must follow through your work and check what you've done. So let's now flow together in the section 2, section B of this paper. Okay. Number 21. A certain supermarket made sales which are worth 168,524,116 Kenya shillings in the first quarter of the year 2024. Round off the number to the nearest hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. Therefore, what we are supposed to consider is the digit which is at the position of 100 of millions. Therefore, this is ones. We talk of 6 in ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions. Then now this is hundreds of millions. So in the place of hundreds of millions, we are having digit 1. So we consider the number to the right of this one. It is a 6. So 6 can increase 1. 6 can increase 1 to 2. And now everything else becomes a 0. Yeah, everything else becomes a 0. So we'll have zeros there. There are people who will just make it a 2 and they think the other digits which are zeros, the other digits are not useful. So this is now hundreds of thousands. So they were at 200 millions. 200 millions. Okay. Let's look at number 22. The number of boys and girls in grade 8 of a certain school is 30 and 45, respectively. During the games day, 10 boys and 9 girls attended the event. What was the new ratio of boys to girls present in school? So the new number, boys are 30. So 10 boys went. It means boys remains 20. What about girls? They were 45 and 9 went. When we are 45 and 9 people are absent for games, this is 36. So the ratio now can be expressed as 20 is to 36, but a ratio is supposed to be simplified. A ratio is supposed to be simplified. So to simplify this ratio, we can divide by 4, we get 5, and by 4, we get 9. So the ratio is simplified as 5 is to 9. That way. 5 is to 9. I think you're supposed to note that one with a lot of concern. Okay, number 23. The sum of two numbers is 14 and the difference is 2. Find the numbers. If we take the numbers to be x and y, then we are told that x plus y equals to 14. And again, x minus y equals to 2. So these are two simultaneous equations. The statements are representing the same numbers. So this means we can use the elimination method of solving simultaneous equations, whereby I would appreciate if we eliminate x. The coefficients of x are already the same. So x minus x, that one becomes a 0. Y minus negative y, that becomes 2y, equals to 14 minus 2, this becomes a 12. So the value of y will be, when we divide 12 by 2, this is a 6. So that the value of x can be gotten as x plus y equals to 14. So the value of x shall be 8. So the numbers are 6 and 8. The difference is 2. The sum is 14. Very simple. Very simple. Number 24. Kasaine used a gift wrapper to wrap a cuboid carton 60 centimeters long, 40 centimeters wide, and 25 centimeters high. So the box is there. What is the surface area of the wrapper used without any overlap? The surface area of the wrapper used, so we need the surface area of this cuboid because we're assuming that there are no surfaces of the wrapper that overlapped. Then let's work it out. So there is a face measuring 60 by 25, and such faces are 2. Such faces are 2. So 60 by 25, then we multiply by 2 such faces. And what are we going to get here? 60 by 25 times 2. The front face that we are seeing here, then times 2 because of the similar length, the similar surface at the back of the same carton. This is going to give us 3,000. Let's talk about 60 again, now considering the base and the top, which are alike. Considering the base and the top, which are alike, then we shall talk about 60 multiplied by 40. Then the top and the base are the same. and they are giving us 4800. Then we can also check the face on my right, this one. This face is measuring 25 by 40 or 40 by 25. 40 by 25. And there are two such phases because of the other one on my right. Right and left. 40 by 25 by 2, 2000. Then now we can get the total now by adding everything. So the total surface area should be 9800 square centimeters. Yeah, so we work with square centimeters because we have not been instructed to convert this to any other units of area. So that is it. 25. Question number 25. An open cylindrical water tank has an external diameter of 4.2 meters and a height of 1.8 meters. The wall of the tank was painted. What is the area of the wall painted? So the wall is painted and this tank is cylindrical. So the surface area of a cylinder is what shall be applied here. So for us to apply the area, we need to talk about pi d times h or 2 pi r. C2r instead of d. Instead of diameter, we can have 2r. So we can have 2 times pi times a radius. You know, we are given the diameter, so the radius shall be 2.1. Then now we multiply by the height, 1.8. So let me now work out this. 2 times 22 over 7. Then this is multiplied by 2.1, then times 1.8. This is going to be 23.76. Remember, this can vary. And these are square meters. This can vary depending on the choice of your pi. You can either use the pi in the calculator or 3.142. So it can vary slightly. Number 26. A farmer sold 150 bags of beans at 5,400 Kenya shillings each. He deposited all the money in a savings account, which paid 10% per annum compound interest. How much sales did the farmer make? 150 bags of beans. 150 bags of beans times 5,400 each bag. So we are going to realize sales of 810,000 Kenya shillings. Part B, how much money was in the savings account at the end of 2 years? So after 1 year, we shall have 810,000 at a rate of 10% for 1 year. And this becomes a, let me check, 800 or 81. Okay, yeah, 81,000 that way. So this amount shall become 81,000. Then now, because it is a compound interest, you see, the interest is compounded. We shall have 81,000. We add to the initial principal. So that now the new principal is 891,000 at the rate of 10% times the second year, which is just 1 year. So this is going to be 8,900 Kenya shillings. So the interest from the first year is here. The interest from the second year is here. So what is the amount in the savings account now? So we can add the two interests now. to the initial amount, or we talk about the new principal and the interest earned. Yeah, and the interest earned. And this is going to be 980,100 Kenya shillings. 980,100 Kenya shillings. That way. Number 27. Otieno bought a TV on hire purchase terms. He paid a deposit plus 8 equal monthly installments of each 4,500 Kenya shillings. If the hire purchase price was 44,500 Kenya shillings, how much did Otieno pay as deposit? How much did Otieno pay as deposit? So we shall say that higher purchase price is usually equal to deposit plus installments. Yeah, deposit plus installments. So the higher purchase price of 44,500 are the same as their non-deposit plus 8 installments, each 4,500. So we are talking of 44,500 being equal to deposit plus. Let me talk about 8 installments, each 4,500, so that I may get 36,000. So to remain with the deposit, now we take 44,500 and we subtract all the installments. This shall be 8,500 Kenya shillings. So that's how we work out such a simple question. Very simple, actually. So you're supposed to understand that money matters are very simple. Number 28. The sum of the interior angles of a regular polygon is 720 degrees. How many sides does it have? So the sum of interior angle, sum is usually given as 180 into n minus 2. Okay. So sum is 720. This one is supposed to be equal to 180 into n minus 2. Unknown number of sides n minus 2. So we can divide it through by 180 first. Instead of opening brackets, we divide it through by 180. This is giving me 4 equals to n minus 2. So that for me to remain with n, now the 2 should be added on my left. And that becomes 6 sides. So the number of sides is 6. Again, we are told to find the size of each exterior angle. The size of each exterior angle can be found in this way. We can say that n is given by 360 out of each exterior angle. So each exterior angle will be 360 over n. When we take 360 and we divide by 6, we shall get the size of an exterior angle. This is giving us what? Let me divide 360 over 6. Very true, 60. So we are through. We can also say that we can get interior angle, whereby we take the total interior angles over 6. Each one is 120. Now with each is 120, I'm just confirming that 6, when we divide 720 by 6, we get 120. Yeah, we know that interior, this is an alternative, plus exterior should give us 180. So we are already having the interior as 120. So we add to a known exterior to give us 180. So to remain with the exterior, 180 minus 120, 60 degrees. Yeah, 60 degrees that way. So we are having 60 degrees. It can be done using very many approaches. Very many approaches. Number 29. We are almost finishing. Number 29. Construct triangle ABC in which line AB equals to 6 centimeters. Then the angle CAB equals to 60, and the other angle of ACB equals to 70. Then after that, we draw a circle that touches the faces of the triangle. Then we measure the radius. So we can use the working space again, such that we need use a separate A4 paper. Yeah. So we are talking about AB 6 centimeters. So I begin by drawing centimeters, line AB. That is point A. Then now I come with a radius of 6 centimeters. AB 6 centimeters already constructed. Then I continue. The angle at A is 60. The angle at A is 60. This one can either be measured or constructed. You are free there. You've not been told not to use a protractor and a pair of compasses. So when I measure the angle like that, I produce the line. This is a 60 degrees already measured. Then we need to talk about now. There is no other line given. We only have angle, the angle at C. But remember, point C is not known. So if point C is not known, then we know that all the angles in a triangle should give us 180. So 180 minus the available angles of 60 and 70. This is 130. So 80 minus 130 is 50. So the angle at B is 50. So that the angle at C automatically will fit in as 70. So we're already having 50, 60. So we measure the angle of 50 at B. An angle of 50 at B that way. An angle of 50 at B. So automatically, the 70 that had been said will now fall in place automatically. That becomes our point. So the diagram has been constructed successively. Now with this diagram, we need to continue following instructions to draw a circle that touches the faces. So for us to draw a circle that touches the faces, we just bisect angles. So we bisect the angle of 60 degrees and we produce the bisector. So we stand at, let me show you how to bisect angles. We just stand at A, we make an arc and another arc. Then standing on those arcs now, we stand at the first arc, we make another one. Standing at the second arc, we make another one. Therefore, now we can produce the bisector of the angle that way. And we do the same for the other angle at B. Remember, it should be any two angles. You just bisect any two angles. Then where the bisectors are meeting, we stand at B. We make arcs. Then standing on those arcs now, we make another arc and another arc. Then now we join the arc to B. That will be a bisected angle once again. That way. So we have bisected the angles. Now, where the two bisectors are meeting, this point, we call it our center. Then we will stand on that center and we draw a circle which will touch which is going to touch the faces now, not the vertices, but now the faces. So we are touching the triangle on the inner side. that way. So that is what was expected now. After all this now, you measure the radius of such a circle and you indicate it very well. Number 30. Given the linear equation 2y plus x equals to 8, generate the values of y by completing the table given below. So the value of y when x is 0. So you write 2y plus x, which is a 0, equals to 8. So 2y equals to 4. And the value of y, 2y equals to 8, sorry. Then we divide through by 2, giving us 4. So we get 4 here. We again go to the next, when x is 2. So we write again this equation, 2y plus the value of x, which is at 2, giving us 8. So 2y equals to 8 minus 2, 6. Y equals to 3. Y becomes 3. Again, when x equals to 4, what will be the value of y? We go back to our equation. Let me write again so that I may substitute. 2y plus the value of x, which is 4, equals to 8. So 2y equals to 8 minus 4 is a 4. So y becomes, you divide it through by 2. This is giving us 2. And finally, 2y plus the value of x now, which becomes 6, equals to 8. So 2y equals to 8 minus 6, which is 2. Y equals to 1. So y equals to 1 that way. Yeah, y equals to 1. Plot the values on Cartesian plane provided. Then you join the points now. Then you join the points. Let's plot. And we are going to use the graph provided. So you should know, for uniformity in the scale, point 1 is on the first dot, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That way. So coordinate 0, 4. So 0, 4 is here. Coordinate 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 shall be here. Coordinate 4, 2. So 4 is here. Then 2. Coordinate 6, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is here and 1 is here. So I have now plotted all the coordinates. Can make them stars this way. After plotting all the coordinates, we are told to join them. You just join them. So I use my straight ruler to join all the coordinates. That way. So now this is our line, well plotted. Line 2, 2y plus x equals to 8. That way. So we are done with that question. Now we check number 31. A very good question here. A 50-kilometer road is to be constructed in a certain county. An architecture drew the road on a map using the scale of 1 centimeter to represent 20,000 centimeters. What is the length of the road on the map? So 1 centimeter represents 20,000. We need a length in centimeters that will represent 50 kilometers. So 50 kilometers can be converted into meters. 50 kilometers into centimeters by multiplying by 100,000. Then these are the centimeters. Each centimeter should be represented by 1 centimeter represents 20,000. So how many centimeters do we need to represent 5,000? If 1 centimeter represents 20,000, then how many centimeters do we need to represent? And this is going to be 25 centimeters. 50 kilometers into centimeters. I hope my conversion was right. Yeah, so I'm getting 250 centimeters. So in paper, then 5 million centimeters will be represented by 250. That way. Number 32. The figure below represents a Thomas vegetable garden. We can see it in the shape of a parallelogram. Then we are told, what is the area of the vegetable garden in hectares? Area for a parallelogram is usually given as base times height. So a base of 350 and a vertical height of 180, 350 and 180. This now are going to give us exactly 63,000 square meters. But now we are supposed to give it in hectares. So we divide by 10,000 for us to get 6.3 hectares. So without the conversion, somebody would miss the mark. 1 hectare equals to 10,000 meters squared. 1 hectare equals to 10,000 square meters. Yeah, 10,000 square meters. Number 33. A cylindrical water tank has a diameter of 7 meters and a height 9 meters. Calculate the volume. Here is a cylinder. So we need cross-sectional area times height. So for a cylinder, remember a cylinder is a prism. So cross-section area, which is circular, pi r squared times height. So we need pi r, which is 3.5 in this case. Then we square times a height of 9. And we should compute this to give our answer, which is 346.5. This is meters cubed now, because we are talking about volume. Yeah, meters have been cubed that way. What is the capacity of the tank in liters? So cubic meters to be converted to liters, we usually say 1 cubic meter is equal to 1,000 liters. So we shall multiply this value by 1,000, and that will give us exactly 346,500. Yeah, liters, that liters. Then we are having a number 33. A model of a tent is in the shape of a pyramid of a square base of side 30 centimeters and a slant edge of 17 centimeters long. This is a model. Determine the surface area of the pyramid. Surface area of the pyramid. So here, we are talking of it is a square based. So I've drawn the pyramid now. So the square base is having a square base 30 by 30. Then now the slanting faces, you have 17 here and 17 here. They are measuring 17, the slanting edges. So I need to get one face now, which is measuring 17 here, 17 here. Then I bisect the length here, which is measuring 30, so that I have 15 and 15. Now with this, we can get the vertical height for this face, such that height is given by 17 squared according to the Pythagoras theorem, minus 15 squared. Then we take the square root. This is going to give us a height of 8. A height of 8 centimeters. So for us now to get area, we need now this triangular face half multiplied by a base of 30 and a height of 8. This is going to give us 120. Then now there are 4. Because it's a pyramid, there are 4. So the total surface area now shall be, the surface area shall be 120 times 4 of them. And this is going to give us 480. 480 square centimeters that way. 480 square centimeters. All right, number 34. Let's check number 34 now. Given that A, which is a matrix, equals to 9, 4, 7, 8, and B equals to 5, 2, 3, 9, what is the value of A plus B? A plus B. So 9, 4, 7, 8, plus 5, 2, 3, 9. This is going to be 9 plus 5, because we usually add corresponding terms or terms in corresponding positions. So 9 plus 5 is 14. 4 plus 2 is 6. 7 plus 3 is 10. And 8 plus 9 is 17. So this now becomes the answer for part A. Then in part B, what is the value of matrix A minus B? So again, 9, 4, 7, 8 minus 5, 2, 3, 9. We subtract elements in corresponding positions. 9 minus 5, we get 4. 4 minus 2, we get 2. 7 minus 3, we get 4. 8 minus 9, we get a negative 1. So this is now the final answer for part B. Let's check part number 35. Point A of a line as the coordinate 3, 5, and point B of a line is also having coordinate 8, 3. Calculate the gradient of the line AB. So for us to get gradient, we need the change in y out of the change in x. So what is change in y? We can have the second y minus the first y coordinate, 3 minus 5, out of change in x, the second x minus the first x, 8 minus 3. So this is going to be negative 2 out of 5. Negative 2 over 5. Remember, this can also be worked out as we can begin with any coordinate as long as it is change in y over change in x. So we can begin with the first y, 5 minus 3, divided by change in x, 3 minus 5. So this will be 2 over negative 5. 3 minus 8, sorry. So negative 5. 2 over negative 5, giving us a negative 2 over 5 as the final answer. Yeah, negative 2 over 5. So you can begin with any coordinates and you shall get your answers. A cylindrical water tank has a radius of 140 and a height of 160 centimeters. The tank was full of water. What is the volume of the tank in cubic centimeters? Again, volume of a prism should be cross-section area times height. Therefore, we talk of volume being pi r squared times 8. So this is going to give us 9,856,000. Yeah, that one. And these are square centimeters. No, cubic, sorry. It's volume, cubic centimeters. Okay. The next question after that is part B. What is the capacity of the tank when full? Okay, capacity, this one is measured in very many units, but the liter is the main. Yeah, liter is the the SI unit of capacity. So even if there might be multiples of the liter and sub-multiples of the liter, we just operate with the liter, and we know that 1 liter equals to 1,000 cubic centimeters. So we are now having 9,856,000 cubic centimeters. How many liters shall be there? So we divide by 1,000, and this gives us 98.56 liters when full, when the tank is full. Okay, number 37 now. In number 37, the question says that a plot of land in Kileleshwa is valued at 5 million Kenya shillings. Due to high demand and in its location in CBD, its value appreciates in value. Okay, it appreciates in value at the rate of 15% every year. Find the value of the plot after 3 years. So after 3 years, we expect appreciation. It is appreciating, increasing in value after every year at a rate of 15%. So now let me use the space even happier so that we say in the first year, no appreciation behaves like compound interest. That's what you're supposed to know. Together with the depreciation, they behave like a compound interest. So in 1 year, after 1 year, it shall increase in value because there is a 5 million. We multiply this by 15% times 1 year. So this shall be times 15%. It's giving us 750. So it shall rise by 750, which means after 1 year, it shall be valued at, we add the 5 million here. So the value will be 5,750,000. 5,750,000. This after 1 year. This is the value now after 1 year, which means after the second year or during the second year, it shall again appreciate 750,000. 5 million, we multiply by 15%. So it shall increase by 862,500, which means after 2 years, the value shall be 862 plus 500. Now we add the value it had, 5,750,000. And this is going to be 6,612,500. That way. So by the time we are ending the second year, this plot in Kileleshwa CBD is going to be valued at 6,612,500 Kenya shillings. Then now this is the value, which again will be now appreciating at the rate of 15%. So this one by 15%, this is going to be 991,875 Kenya shillings. That means after 3 years now, because during the second year it earned this interest or this increasing value, we add the value it had. Then this is giving us 7,604,375 Kenya shillings. So this will be the value after 3 years. Okay, there is a formula, but that one is not for grade 9 level, which we don't encourage at this level. Whereby we say that the value after a period of year is principal, which is the initial value, 1 plus the rate. The rate is usually a percentage raised to the power of n. And in this case, n is the number of periods through which it shall appreciate. That way. Number 38. We are told that the marked price of a jacket in a certain shop was 2,400 Kenya shillings. Albert bought the jacket at 1968. What percentage discount was he allowed? Discount is usually a percentage of the marked price. Therefore, we can get the discount itself by taking the marked price minus the price at which he finally bought this particular jacket. We're getting 432. So he was given a discount of 432. So when we take 432 out of the marked price of 2,400 and we express it as a percentage, we shall get 18%. So this gentleman was given, Albert was given 18% discount. 18% discount. So you're supposed to know that discount is usually a percentage, usually a percentage of the marked price. That too. Number 39. The diagram below is a map of a rectangular coffee farm of Mr. Moher. It's measuring 8 by 5. 8 by 5. 8 by 5 centimeters. Okay. If the map has been drawn to a scale of 1 centimeter representing 5 meters, what is the actual area of the farm and in hectares? 1 centimeter representing 50 meters. So which means the 8 centimeters here, each represents 50 meters. And we can also say the 5 centimeters on the wing, each is representing 50 meters. Therefore, we can get the dimension in meters. The length is going to be 8 by 50. The length is going to be 400. Multiplied by, because we want area, the width is going to be 5 by 50, 250 meters. So this area now is going to be 100,000 square meters. 100,000 square meters. But now we ask ourselves, if this area in the desired units, we needed it in hectares. Therefore, we should divide this one by 10,000 and have our area for the piece of land as 10 hectares. So we divide by 10,000 for us to get the area in hectares. Finally, we are at number 40, which is the last question in this paper. The mass of some learners in grade 8 was recorded as 61 kilograms, 56 kilograms, 59 kilogram, 56 again, and 58. Determine the mode mass of the learners. So you're supposed to know that in a data like this, mode is the most occurring item. The most occurring item. So 56 is here and also 56 again. There is no value which is repeating itself except 56. So it is only the mass of 56 which is occurring twice. The others, each once. Therefore, the mode is 56. Most occurring item. Calculate the mean mass of the learners. Mean is usually the total mass out of the number of learners. Total mass shall be, we take 61, we add 56, we add 59, we add 56 again, we add 58. This one should be divided by the learners who are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide by 5. So when we add, we shall get 290 over 5. Now this is going to give us 58 kg as the mean mass for the learners. So that is all about the paper. Thank you so much for following. Remember to support our programs through the till number attached 497772. Thank you so much. See you next time.